الأعزاء خريجي الجامعة الوطنية والسادة المسجلين لورشة اليوم، بكل سرور وسعادة أرحب بكم في ورشة اليوم الخاصة بكتابة السيرة الذاتية بصورة احترافية، والتي نهدف من خلالها إلى تزويدكم بالمهارات العلمية والمعلومات اللازمة لصياغة السير الذاتية تفتح أمامكم آفاقا واسعة في سوق العمل. مع خالص تمنياتنا لكم بالتوفيق والاستفادة القصوى من هذه الورشة، وأن تكون خطوة مهمة نحو مستقبل مهني وناجح. تحياتي لفريق تنظيم الورشة، والتحيات موصولة إلى مركز التطوير المهني بالجامعة. شاركت معكم نبذة صغيرة عن مقدم الورشة بروفيسور فحل، الذي يعتبر نموذج فريد للعالم الذي حول البحث العلمي إلى واقع إنساني ملموس، وحقق احترافا دوليا واسعا بفضل إنجازاته الاستثنائية في خدمة العلم والإنسانية. بالتوفيق لكم جميعا. أترك المساحة لبروفيسور فحل عشان يبتدي لنا.
Thank you very much, Dr. Summer, for this nice and kind introduction. I'm very much honored and pleased to be part of this highly reputable meeting today. First, I would like to share my presentation. Can you give me the share, please? Can I have the share, please?
Yes, Prof. Send your application so I can let you share your screen.
I'm trying now, but it's not working.
Summer, can you change it from share screen and allow all participants to share so the prof can share his screen?
Khalid, please, can you put off your camera? Khalid Muhammad Al-Rajil, please put off your camera.
Samira, now you are host. You can admit Prof to share his screen.
Okay. Just give me a couple of seconds.
Okay.
Prof, can you try sharing your screen?
Yes. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes, but can you put it on presentation mode?
Is it all right now?
Yes,
yes,
Prof.
Yes, Prof.
Is that right?
Yes, it's totally fine and it's moving.
Okay, fine. As I mentioned, I'm very honored and pleased to be part of this highly reputable meeting. I hope you can have a good discussion. The aim of this discussion was to be interactive, but because this is a Zoom meeting, it will be difficult for the interaction to take place, but I will try my best to make that as possible during the presentation. The curriculum vitae construction. This is the title of my presentation. My name is Professor Fahal. I'm a professor of surgery, the director of the Mycetome Research Center, University of Khartoum. I would like to declare there is no conflict of interest in this presentation. All images, photos were taken from open sources or from our own local databases. What is your objective to be part of this meeting? Anybody can share his expectation or objective of being part of this webinar?
Yes, if anyone wishes to share their opinion, you can just raise a hand. So, Prof, can I start by myself?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, I'm really happy to be in this webinar today, and I would like to learn more about how can I write my CV in a professional way. While looking on LinkedIn and those platforms, we see that there are a lot of forms for the CVs, but I don't know what's the right format for writing a professional CV.
Yeah, okay. I know you know how to write a good CV, but I'm very grateful for taking the opportunity to talk to us about this. Curriculum VT, is it the construction? Is it the preparation? Or is it to design a curriculum? VT, this is the objective of my presentation. I would like to share with you how we can write a CV. But there are three important issues I would like to talk about them. This is a construction method, or is it just the preparation of the CV to be feasible for other people, or is it a design for the CV? So probably at the end of this presentation, we're going to come to a conclusion. Is it the CV constructed or prepared or designed? What is a curriculum VT? Curriculum VT, it is a Latin word, means the course of life. Very simple. It is the course of life, and this is stand for the curriculum VT in Latin. So what is a curriculum VT? A curriculum VT, it is a professional document that provides a comprehensive description. Again, I would like to emphasize it is a professional document. Describe your education, academic achievements, professional experience, personal skills, and achievements. We can say the curriculum VT, it is an academic diary that highlights all your awards, honors, fellowships, presentations, and speaking engagement in different academic communities, either at the level of the college, level of the university, international local conferences, and meetings. Again, I would like to emphasize it is an academic diary that documents your research interest, publications, grants obtained during career, and the research international collaboration. So it is a document, it is a diary documenting a lot of information about yourself and about your achievement in life. Why we need to have a curriculum VT? The main purpose of the CV, it is to introduce yourself as a candidate, as a researcher, as a teacher, or as a human being. So you can apply for awards, for funders to get funds for research, to join a university as staff, or to join whatever as an employee in one of these institutes or even companies or enterprises. So it is actually an introduction of ourselves to different environments, different communities, to make sure that we are visible and other people, they know who I am going to do in that institute. Why we need it? It is to monitor self-progress. We need to have this curriculum VT to make sure we are progressing. And as I will let you know that the curriculum should be updated almost every day. That means there is some progress going on. If you are not updating your CV very regularly, there is something wrong. We have to mitigate it and we have to work on it. So we can need it to have a new job, a new position, or you ask for a grant, or you want to have a scholarship or a fellowship at this. We have something called resume. What is resume? Yes. Resume, it is a one-page summary of your work, experience, background, relevant to a specific job you would like to apply for. To summarize all the CV in one page. And it is quite just a quick look for other people to see who is coming and what we're going to talk to him about. And this is an example of a resume. One page, you can add your photo. You can put the important things. For example, personal profile, education, experience in certain areas related to the job or the position I would like to apply for, certain skills, achievements, and contact. They can contact you to continue dialoguing and discussing with you things. This is another example of a resume. Again, one page. You can see here there is a profile, education, experience, skills, and key features. Again, it is one page showing all these important information about yourself. How we can do it? There is a lot of means and ways and tools. We can utilize them to write, to design, to construct a good curriculum VT. And here we have to say that we have to have more than one type of CVs. CV for education, for a job, for grants, for scholarships, for others. So we have to be very flexible in constructing, designing, and writing your CV. You can have one big CV, and then after that, that will be the main one, and then you can modify it to different aspects and different purposes and different jobs, for example. There are many elements within the curriculum VT. You can start by having a contact information about yourself. Very important to have a personal profile, education experience, work experience, skills acquired along the road. Furthermore, it should include publications, grants obtained, projects going on or in the past, graduate students graduated from your institute and you supervise them, and then the presentation you gave at different communities, societies, associations, conferences, meetings, posters, and this. Very important, you should put very clear in the curriculum VT the contact information. It is the first element of the CV and serve at the header of this document, just like the car plates should be there to show this is CV belong to this person, and it sits on top of the CV so the interviewers can contact you easily and to establish a contact between you and other groups. This is an example of a contact information: the name, the position, certificates, different websites, and different emails. So they can click on the email and contact you, or they can click on your website and they can contact you and to establish a communication between you and the other people. There should be a content table. The contents should be consisting of the main chapters or the main section of your CV. Remember, in every page of the CV should have something indicating this is you. For example, AHF and 2023. 2023 means that, or 2025, sorry, that means the CV was updated in 2025. And that means you are having an updated, active, dynamic CV at that time. Contact information. It should be consisting of the following elements: the full name. Sometimes there are different types of writing the full name. Either the full name, or you write a surname, comma, and then the initials, or the surname and then comma, the first and the middle names. And that again should be constant all the time. For example, if you change the surname, you may change a lot of things in your CV, on your publications. And that should be constant. I know in Europe, ladies, after getting married, they're going to change their names. But still, a lot of scientists, they keep the original name as it is. The present position, where are you now? What are you doing? The phone number for communication, and personal email address, not the company or the university address. Because this is a very personal issue, the curriculum vitae. Sometimes you put the social media connection and communication, like the LinkedIn, like whatever, but that is optional depending on where you are going to apply for. An important thing, you would like to have your professional website if that is available for other people. Again, remember that you write your name properly, the place of birth, Khartoum, Sudan, whatever, marital status. Sometimes you need to write your nationality. And again, that it depends on where you're applying for. In some institutes, they don't want to have it because it may be discrimination. Again, very clear address, professional email. This should be not a Hotmail or a Gmail. And then you have to have the personal website if it's available, and the present position there. There are some points should not be included in the personal details. And that include date of birth, because that will lead to discrimination. They want young, maybe old, maybe this. Gender, again, a lot of people, they don't want to put the gender because this is gender discrimination. Religion, again, a lot of people, they don't want to see a religion stated in your CV because this is discrimination, and this is in Europe that not accepted. And then the physical address, because this is very personal, the physical address. You don't want people to come to your house and knock the door and talk to you about something and this and this and this. So physical address, this is again very private and very personal at this time. Again, would like not to input in your email the current business contact information. If you want to apply for a new job, it is better not to put the current business contact, because that may cause a lot of conflict between the company, the university, the department you are working in, and the other one you are going to move to it. Sometimes you may need to put your photo, but mainly for in accordance with the regulation of the center, the company, the university you're going to apply for, but usually we don't put photos. Personal social media, again, it is not acceptable in a lot of academic institutes. Personal statement, again, should be at the top of your CV, because you want to have people know something about you. But that should be very concise. At the beginning of the CV, describing your top skills, capabilities that will bring you to the new role. So people, they know that somebody is coming to work in this department with these skills, this and this and this. So that will be a big plus for you during the interview. Remember, we need to mention the skills, the experience you gained in the past, an achievement you had in the past, so as that can help the selection committee to know, are you suitable or not suitable for this job? So that should be relevant to the job you are applying for, or should be relevant to the grant you are applying for, or relevant to the scholarship you would like to apply for. So remember, you mentioned the skills, the experience, and the achievements you got in the past. Again, we would like to have, including in that statement, very positive words. For example, I am confident to do that, adaptable, self-motivated, and enthusiastic. So words like this, it is a very positive and strong, but it should not be very strong. I should not be very positive. So I cannot say I am very, very confident in doing this and this. I am very much enthusiastic on doing this. Yeah, and enthusiastic alone can be enough. So remember, you have to choose the right words, the right statement for the right time and the right place. In general, it should be a simple, well-written personal statement using powerful words so as you can move people for this. In summary, the personal statement should state who are you, outline top skills and achievements, mention the name of your target employer, where you are coming, where you want to go there, and then your goals as a potential new employee. So when I come to work in this department, I will going to bring with me experience in this and this and this and this, grant for research, I got this and this and this and this, achievement in this and that and that. So in summary, you should have a very good statement about yourself, your top skills and achievement, and then the potential skills you're going to bring to that institute. Then, very important not to put or ask certain questions. For example, you cannot put in the personal statement the money you would like to get from that institute. So you're not going to ask for a salary at that personal statement. That may put you off a lot of interviews, jobs, achievements, scholarship, and this and this and this. So remember, avoid the financial and salary requirement to be asked in the personal statement at the top of your CV at this side. Again, don't mention why you left this job. You cannot say I left because the employer is not so good, the salary is very bad, overwork and unpaid, and this and this and this. Again, that will be a very negative statement in your CV. But you can say why you want to apply for the new job. Apply because this is a new opportunity for learning, getting more experience, knowing a new group, and then for collaboration and this and this and this. But try to avoid why you left the present job to this one. Cannot say because I am unpaid, overwork, the hostile environment in the institute, and this and this. Work experience. The work experience section allow the interviewer to see your career path, and is it relevant to the new role or not? So again, you have to put a very clear statement about the work experience. I work at Soba Hospital, Newcastle University, and then I went to Malaysia, and the roles that you had in this and this and this. Outline the experience you got in the past. You start with the recent one and go backwards. A reverse pattern at this side. If you have experience for more than 15 years, then you have to select the important, relevant positions you hold in the past. In every position, you should state very clearly the type, the title of the role you had, the date you started, ended, this hospital, for example, the city, and the state, and the country. So the title of the role, the date of employment, city, and the state, and the country is important to be put down in this section. For example, this is the clinical and academic appointment and professional experience between this and this house officer, Soba University Hospital Khartoum, teaching hospitals. Between September and other September, senior house officer, general and plastic surgery, Soba University Hospital. So we have the role, the position, and then it is rotating registrar in training, Khartoum teaching hospital, Soba teaching hospital, and Shab teaching hospital. So that should be the way you put the experience, including the position, the dates, the role, and the hospital at this site. Again, that should be a very clear and very simple. Work experience, if you're working in the area of the research, you should very clearly state the research project you had in the past, the laboratory work and experience, you work on it, the field experience, if there is any volunteer work you took in the past. Very important in the area of research, you have to mention the numbers and metrics that prove your research achievements. Then we're going to come to that in a minute. Remember, there is no need to put tables, charts, and images in this section. Okay? again, remember that if there is gaps in employment history, that should be avoided. And if there is short-term employment, that should be avoided. The gaps in employment may be serious. They may look, why is this happening here? What is there? For example, you went to New York City, and you're waiting for a job or the exam, and then you start to be a taxi driver. This is not relevant to the position you are going to apply for. And that may be serious in some states. So remember that you should not put irrelevant work experience in the CV, as that may be a negative points in your CV. Again, sometimes for ladies, they may have to take some time off and not working for 2 to 3 years. In the past, that was a big problem. But nowadays, they have the maternity leave. And in this maternity leave, you are allowed to get this time off to build your family, to bring children, to raise them, and then you come back again to work. And that is called back to research or back to work. So these are important points. Remember that you need to put it, especially for the maternity. Otherwise, for other things, try to avoid it. There is something wrong going in this presentation. A lot of errors. Regarding education, it is very important again to list your education and dates and the most recent one to the old one. Again, you should have your personal qualification, your professional degrees, academics achievements, and the role related to all these things. That again should be put in the section of the education. Remember, you can put degrees, first class, second class, upper, and this. If you have a PhD recently, you should put the title for dissertation, and you can write 1-2 paragraph on the work you did in this PhD. And again, that will be important if you are going to apply to university or a college with a relevant experience for your work in your PhD. Education, if you are just started working, you can put the A level, the master degree, the BSc, and the PhD in that manner. Here, remember that you must highlight the important phases of your education. If you are just graduated, you can put even your secondary school education, post-secondary school education, universities in this, because you have a minimum experience in this. Very important, we should again state very clearly the skills you gain over the years. You start with the gross of the skills, and then you go for the success you had in the last years, and then your abilities. So it is a very professional, then advanced professional, and then the progress you had during the last few years. Again, you should describe your achievement in previous jobs. For example, I was doing my PhD at this university, I gained this and this and this and this. You should state very clear that the key skills. I work at the University College Hospital in London, and I gained this experience and this and this. I work at that pharmacy, and again, this and this and this experience. And the skills included in this section depend on the position you are going to apply for, or the grant you want to apply for that grant, and this and this. You should describe the achievements and accomplishment in the past previous jobs and the skills you developed during last job. And that again will be a good plus for you in the new position. The skills to be included should depend on where you're applying for. For example, if you have a good skill in research in particular area, that should be very clearly stated in this. If you had a very good experience in teaching and you're applying for a teaching job, that should be very clear in this and this. If you're applying for a scholarship, that means that you have to see that you have a good international collaboration between this and this and this. So it is very important to read the job description clearly, carefully, meticulously, so you can put the skills relevant to that position or that job. Remember, you have two types of skills, either a job specific skill or a general skills, and then you have the soft and hard skills. The soft skills that you learn during your normal practice day by day. For example, if you want to apply for a custom service job, you would like to look for that job and you have to mention the skills for that job. Clear communication, listening skills, self-control, positive attitude. So this type of skills, you're not going to get it in the school or the university, but you're going to get it from the communication, from courses, for attending meetings, attending workshops, and this and this and this. For example, you can have this communication, like communication skills, like teamwork, like adaptability, credibility, and self-problem. If you are going to work for a community of research or a community of hospital practice and this and this. So in general, the hard skills that you acquire through a formal education and training program, like university or postgraduate student activities and this or postgraduate courses. For example, a computer programming that you gain these skills in the school, in the university or the college or whatever. Mathematical sciences, law, writing, all these gained by a formal education and training. It will be very good if you can have a combination of both hard skills and soft skills, and that you call it interpersonal skills. Consider your experience and proficiency in that skill. Is it basic? Is it intermediate skill? Or is it advanced? Or are you expert in that? Because they will going to ask you and they will going to assess that and ask you in the interview. There's interview on that, and you should be honest with them in this. For example, these are the soft skills. For example, a social media influencer, expert, he able to gain a lot of attention and this and this and this. Very important, you have to, again, to specify the professional certification. Follow of this membership there, master kida and that and that and that and that. Academic awards, industry awards if you are working in industry, extra training you got on this. As I mentioned, you should always put numbers, metrics for your activities. For example, in research, citation number, H index, I10 index. So these are international standard right now to assess the quality of the research and outcome. The same for other quality, you have to have numbers of this. I attended 45 workshops, and these are this and this and this. I gave 242 presentation, and you can enlist all these presentation you got or you did or you delivered in the past. Nowadays, there is a lot of online ranking websites. They can rank you at the level of your institute, at the level of the country, and the level of the continents, and at the global level at this site. For example, now there are websites, they can tell you what is your position at your medical school or your university or whatever, your level at the Sudan, for example, in Africa and globally. And we'll show you where is the strengths and the difficulties and the weakness of your career at this site. Publication should be always there in your CV, especially if you want to have a position for academic or research grants or scholarships. And that should be written in a very specific way. The author name, surname, and the initials, the title of the article, British Journal of Urology, and that should be, again, that should be done through the international formal writing process. We have now the Vancouver style, Harvard style, and this and this. So all the publications should be in the same way, or should be in Harvard, or should be in the Vancouver style. If you have a website, then you should let people know the website so they can access the website and they can know more about yourself in this. So you don't give them a lot of information they don't need it in the interview or whatever at this site. So this is very important. If you have the website, and then you can just link the people to the website you are having there. Awards, prizes, medals, that should be mentioned, because that will give you a big plus if you are applying for a research job or a grant or a prize and awards for it. Remember that the CV, it is a chance to stand out and tell other people what you are doing, your achievement in this. Always try to be very meticulous in writing your CV. It is a showcase of yourself and your achievement. So when you write, you construct, you design the CV, you should be very clear about how you can do it. You can list in the CV something extracurricular. For example, the voluntary work you are doing, hobbies, the interest. For example, because that will make good discussion during the interviews. For example, if you are very skilled in this photography, graphic design, and this, that will be a big plus in your new position at this site. Remember, you can add references to your CV. Or now a lot of people, they said references are available if needed. And you have to be very careful, because if you want to apply for a job and you know that gentleman, your consultant right now has a conflict with a group in the other hospital or other place, if you put him as a consultant, as a reference, that will be a negative point against you. So you have to be very careful in selecting your reference, where you are going. If you know your consultant, your director in this position is a very well-known person in this and this and this, and then you can add his name or her name to your CV if required. Or you can let the people in other position to ask about you by the way they want to have. Break down your CV into sections and subsections so as can be easily readable, pleasant and nice to read and to follow. For example, table of content should be sections and subsections at this side. The fonts you are using in the CV is very important, critical, and serious. If you use non-professional font, that will be a drawback on your CV. If you use a color which is not professional, again, that will not be acceptable. There are certain fonts nowadays, like Arial, like this, like Sun. Again, this is acceptable, and now they are a professional font. They can use it on this. The font you're using should be again acceptable. For example, you can use font 10 and 12. And for the titles, you can use 12, 14, whatever, and this and this. Again, that should be very much looked after in selecting the fonts and the size. Remember, for the sections and subsections, we use 14 or 16, unless you can use that. Always try to make the whole CV looks like one piece. You cannot put italic here and then bold here and then point here and then this, and then you change the font. You can see Arial here and then Roman Times here. So that should be not the case. All the font in the CV should be the same. All the sections should have the same font. All the subsections should have the same font on this side. So this is very important. Remember to leave margins up and down, left and right, so as you can allow people to have a very nice visual content of your CV. Outline your CV from the present and backwards, so people, they can see your recent accomplishments and achievements. Remember, you can use bullets, you can put bolts, you can put underlines in your CV, depending on where you are. Make your writing powerful and concise. The dog chased the cat. You can write it in a different way. The cat was chased by a dog. So make it very simple, very concise, and use powerful words and statements. In formatting, always use active verbs. You don't say I did. You can say the library was established and this and this. So active verbs are much better than use I did. Again, as you know, we have used the present tense for the current jobs and the past tense for the formal jobs. I think somebody is playing with my slides here. You can see a lot of error, a lot of things coming here. Remember, you revise and you revise and you revise again your CV. You cannot write the CV right now and send it to the new employer tomorrow. No, it should be written meticulously, carefully, and that should be updated every day. And this is very important. The CV is not written today and to be given tomorrow to somebody else. No, you should write it today, you should update it today, and should continuously update your CV. So you don't have mistakes at your CV, and that will be reflected badly on you. Remember, avoid the grammar mistakes and the spelling mistakes. That is why always you should give the CV to somebody else to see it and to revise it and to advise you about it. Revision and revise and revise again. Very important to do that. It should be very clear, should be concise, easy to read. Present it in the form of bold, heading, and subheading, and a bullet point should always be there in your CV construction and designing. Then you can print it in a very nice, high-quality papers. Remember, you have to discuss with a friend, a family member, or a career advisor the CV before you send it out to a specific purpose. I always say the CV, it is a dynamic process. It starts with the start of your career and ends with your career. So it is a dynamic process, a continuing process, writing, revising, updating, designing the CV at this side. Another take-home message, CV is vital for progress. It is vital for monitoring, and it is vital for improvements. Designing, constructing the CV, it is just like constructing a house. You know, there is some rooms here, first floor, second floor, the basement, and this. And that room may be empty at this stage. And here you have to do a lot of work to make that room not empty. You put something in that room. That means you have to do a lot of work. If that room is empty, you have to do something. If the room for the presentation was empty, then you have to do a lot of training so as you can do more presentation. If the room for the section for the publication is empty, then you have to do a lot of work so as you can do a lot of research, publications, and then you can put them in that rooms called the section or the publication site. Again, it is very important to know that CV writing, it is a science and art. Science, you are putting the facts about your life, and the way you're putting is an art, and is actually the fine art. If you write your CV in a way which is not very nice, that will fire back on you on this side. The most important take-home messages from this presentation, the CV, it is a science and art. CV is a dynamic process. CV, it is important for monitoring the progress and achieving in life. So we should work on a daily basis on how we can improve our CV and the quality of the work we're doing. There are a lot of websites. In the past, even now, there is a lot of offices help you in writing your CV, or to shape your CV, or to improve your CV at this site. And here you have to contact them and to have an advice from them. Again, another take-home message is, remember, CV should be updated on a daily basis. This is very important. CV should be updated on a daily basis. If it is not updated on a daily basis, there is something wrong, and you have to take care of this. Bad written CV, it may put you off in many opportunities and work. And this is serious. Writing CV needs a good coaching, a good support, a good supervisor. So that's why you should have a lot of contact with your colleagues, with friends, with consultants, help you in writing your CV at this site. Writing CV needs a good coaching, good training, good advice at this site. Again, remember that on the roads to success, there are no shortcuts. So designing the CV, it is the way to have a good success in the future. If you want to have a Nobel Prize, there are paths for it, and you should work on it. And that is why you have a CV that is eligible for a Nobel Prize at this site. Lastly, the net is available now with a lot of information about having experience in writing the CV. For example, this is the 3 billion hits in the internet in less than 1 minute talking about CV. Free templates, CVs, job interviews, help, and this and this and this. I would like to thank you very much for coming for this seminar, for attention, and I would like to thank you again. I would like to thank Dr. Samar for this opportunity we had to speak to you about how we design, construct our CVs. Now we can say the CV, it is a design, and then a construction, and then the written part of it. And this is my contact. We hope you can contact me if you want any advice about the CV writing, construction, and design. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All attendees, feel free to ask Prof. Fahad. You can use the chat box or you can ask directly.
That means either it is very clear or it's not very clear.
Good evening.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. My name is Rumaisa Belia. I'm a fresh graduate from Dental School, National University. My sincere thanks to the alumni affairs at National University for the organization and for Prof. Fahad for your time, effort, and such an informative session. Actually, Prof, it's amazing that how you build an international research profile from Sudan and how we as a fresh graduate with short clinical age, we face much of local limitations. So I was wondering to seek from your experience, what's the biggest mistakes that you have seen in the CVs of young professionals that's, let's say, it prevents their true potentials from being seen?
Yeah, the most important is to how to write a proper CV for the proper or the appropriate position you're going to look for. If you want to apply for a job at the university, then you have to put very clearly in the CV why you want to be there. What are your undergraduate achievements you had in the past? The degrees, the distinctions, the merits, and this and this and this. And that should be very clearly put in this. And the most important thing, you look holistically. If you want to be a university staff, then you have to remember that staff university have 4 important roles: teaching, research, community engagement, and administration. So in your CV, remember that this at the beginning that will be empty houses or empty rooms. And then you have to work on these empty rooms as to fill it. Remember that the CV, it is a progress report on what you are doing. In many countries overseas, you have to sit your supervisor every 6 weeks, every 6 months. And then you discuss what you achieved in last 6 months and what is the plan for the coming 6 months. So this is the way you progress. There's a gap here. I have a gap in research. So I have to go and attend a course on research methodology. I have a gap in publications. I have to go and have a course on how to publish a work. I have a gap here in teaching. I have to go and attend the workshop on teaching and this and this. So the CV, it is actually a map, a roadmap for you what to do in the future and how to achieve that. Without CV, we'll be going around missing a lot of things. After 20 years, there's a gap in the research. Oh, this is very bad. I cannot do it. My CV is empty of this part. And here you cannot apply for a position in a university, for example. So all these things should be from the start. You have to know your future, what you want to do in the future. And what are the skills you have to gain along the way you are going there. And how are you going to achieve these goals at this site. For example, if you want to do surgery, you should have a very good training in surgical teaching. Again, I would like to have a very good teaching in surgical research and how I'm going to utilize these surgical skills in the community activities and this and this and this. So always remember that you should have a very, this is why you should have what is known as a personal plan for it. And the personal plan should be started from undergraduate. I want to be in the future this and this and this. Where I am now and how I be going there to achieve this. So I think it is very important to have a very clear objective to your life and how you are going to achieve this. Sometimes it may be a bit late, but not too late to mitigate the things missing in your CV and this. Thank you very much.
Okay,
you,
Prof,
Prof.
we have a question from Wahaj Khalid. She's asking, what about mentioning the main duties and responsibilities with each work experience?
Again, this is very good question, and that depends on where are you working. For example, if you are going to work in Institute of Research, there is a very clear characteristics of the researcher in that institute. There is a lot of obligations, responsibilities upon you, and you have to achieve that. It depends where are you and what are the criteria on that work and what are the responsibility of that work and what is the expected outcome of your work there. So again, this is very, very, very dynamic, very, very depending on where are you and what are you doing. For example, you work in a hospital at the level of the house officer, there is certain responsibilities and you have to do it. If you became a registrar, there is another more responsibility. You became a consultant, there is this and this and this. So every job, there is a very clear responsibilities, characteristics, criteria, and you have to fill it at this and this and this. So remember that always when you start a new job, you should first know the responsibilities upon you, what are expecting from you, what is the expecting outcome of your work and this. Thank you very much.
Okay, Prof, we have another question from Halima. Can the CV be more than 2 pages? Is not a problem?
More than 2 or less than 2?
She's asking if it is possible to be more than 2.
Definitely. It can be 200 pages, depending on experience, your work, or achievement. If you are an achiever, proactive, you can have a long CV. But sometimes they will ask you just to write 1-page CV or 2-page CV. It depends on at the CV. It is a very dynamic process, depending on what you want to do with this CV. For example, if you want to apply for Welcome Trust Foundation, they will ask you about 200 pages for a CV to be eligible. Microsoft will ask you about 1-page CV. Depend on the call or the position you want to apply for at this time. So that is why I said it is a very dynamic process. It is designing according to the purposes of that. It is not static. It is always. That is why you have to be very, very flexible with the CVs. For example, I will ask you, give you, please give us a brief, not more than 500 words about yourself for this. So you have to be very precise. You have to bring down all the 500 pages in one or onto 500 words at this side. So this is the important thing about it. Flexibility, dynamics, not static. This is very important thing about it.
Okay, Halim extend her question to, does any country have its own formula? I think Dr. Samira gave a good answer, but please answer Halima, Prof. Fahal.
Yeah, there is no a simple fixed format for the CV. Always look what other people wanted from you in that CV. For example, if you want to apply for a master's degree in Oxford University, there are certain criteria you would like you to show in your CV, and you have to follow this criteria. Okay? They may ask you about 1-page CV because they have no time to read all the 200 pages. They're going to have it in 1 page, so it's very summarized, concise, precise CV, not CV, a resume, for example, on this. The resume should be very nice, elegantly laid out. Qualification, experience, skills here, previous work, your photo in the middle, your contact here. So this is very artistic way of designing a resume at this site. So it is very much depending. You should not have only one type of resume. If you go to the net, you go for resume, you see a lot of designs: yellow, red, green, bold. Yeah, very nice design for this resume at this site. The same for the CV. But the most important thing should be a very professional. Avoid unprofessional things in your CV at this site. Yes.
Thank you, Prof. Khalid Muhammad asking, should I specialize my resume or keep it general?
It depends. It depends for what you want to do. If you want to apply for a scholarship on one page, then you should highlight in that resume your research work, your publications, the quality of the publications, the research experience you got in the past, and this and this. If you want to apply to be a director of something, then you have a different resume. So the previous administration, skills in administration, course in administration, and this and this and this. And again, this is another type of resume at this. If you want to apply to be the Secretary General of the African Union, then you have different resume at this site. So it depends, but the way you write it, this is the most important thing. It is, as I mentioned, should be a science, should be art, should be nice, should be clear, should be concise, and should include the relevant information in that CV. That is why you should have different versions of the CV available in your laptop. And then you can modify them according to the need, according to the job, according to the this and this. For example, if you want to apply for neglected tropical diseases scholarship, then that should include a lot of data about your work on neglected tropical diseases. You cannot put your work on cancer, for example. You are not going to find that job because you have no experience in this and this and this. Yes.
Okay, Prof. I think we have a big question from Ola. Please, how can I improve myself in writing research, and how do I participate in research? A very big question.
Yeah, it should be part of the research environment. It should be part of the research environment. This is more, research is a daily activity, is a culture. Research, it is a lifestyle. So you should be part of this environment. For example, if you want to be a good researcher, you should attach yourself with good researchers. Should always be available in the community of the researchers, conferences, meetings, discussions. For example, the Mycetoma Center, we have the Mycetoma research groups, we have the Mycetoma research discussion group, we have the Mycetoma research club, we have the scientific research community. All these are groups. They're having a lot of scientific debate, discussions every week, every month, every day. So you should be part of these groups. Because when you speak to them, you talk to them, you listen to them, you have a lot of change in your attitude, in your behavior. So that is important. Important, you should be part of the research environment. Always think of the research. Why this is right? Why this is wrong? What is this idea coming from here? Or I observe there is something happening here. What is the explanation of that? How can I reach out this? And always be part of be part of the research environment. For example, a meeting like this is very important. It's part of the research environment. Tomorrow there'll be a webinar on scientific writing. I have to attend it. Okay. The day after tomorrow, there will be something here. Oh, okay, fine. And I always say there is three important issues if you want to be a good researcher. Motivation to be a good researcher. You have to have a time management, because research means is a full-time activity. But don't forget about your social life, your other life, your academic life, your teaching, and this and this. Third, you should avoid distractors that destroy you, that distract you from doing good things. These distractors, for example, spending a long time at the WhatsApp, looking here, talking there, this is a waste of time. Chatting here and chatting there is unnecessary. This is distractor. So the important things should have a motivation. You have to have the time management and avoid distractors that they can distract you from doing the good thing. That is a lifestyle research, by the way.
Okay, Muhammad Al-Fatih, please feel free to ask. You can unmute your microphone. Muhammad, yes, please.
By the way, you have to always for the research, you have, because if you do a PhD and you come back and this and this and this is not the end of the story. This is the start of the story. This is the first step in the path for progress and for this and this and this. And always, you may not know, you don't know. All of us, we don't know. So we should always remember that we would like to improve myself. You can learn from everybody. You can learn from the porter and the hospital. You can learn from a young researchers. You can learn from a student. Always be open to learn, to know, to progress, and to improve. If you say enough is enough, this is a big problem. You will never be satisfied that you are expert on this. Nobody will say I'm an expert on this, because tomorrow will be something new. Somebody else will know much better than you in this area. So my advice, always try to know more and to understand more, and try to participate in more activities and this and this. Summer, I think now we have more than 1 hour.
Yep.
So I don't want to keep them for a long time.
Okay.
Again, thank you very much, Summer, for this.
Yep.
Okay.
On behalf of the organizing team, thank you, Prof. Fahal, for your participation and your fruitful and very enjoyable presentation today. We look forward for learning and growing together, dear alumni, in future sessions. Warm regards to you all. Thank you again. Please do not forget to fill up the form attached in the chat box. Thank you all again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So thank you all for joining. I think I have to end the meeting now.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Samira.
Thank you so much.